Hello everyone. Black Friday is approaching, and so I thought that I would put together a video talking about all of my favorite brands and discussing the particular deals that are available from those brands, and also talking about the products from each brand that I think might be the most worth considering at this point. And so I will be mentioning just one or two of my top picks for each of these brands. And I also will be sharing with you a list of all of the products from the brand that I have tried in terms of a grade sheet, and so you can get a sense of what I think of all of the products that they are offering. And then for a few of these companies, I do have some holiday releases that I haven't even necessarily talked about on this channel, and so I will be sharing those with you. So for instance, I have this little lip gloss that is from Lisa Eldridge, and this is in the shade called Chameleon Chaos, and that is what I am wearing today. And so I'll be trying on a few other things like lipsticks and blush and stuff like that as well. And I will be going through the brands in alphabetical order, so if there's a particular brand that you are especially interested in, you should be able to find that pretty easily. And in addition, I will be putting a list of all of the brands with links to their sites in the description box and in the pinned comment, and I will try to update that throughout the sale as I find out about new events that are going on. And I'm going to be focusing mostly on makeup and skincare, but there are a few other types of brands such as clothing or even cookware that are among my favorite product companies, and so I will just mention those briefly as well. And so first, a little bit of information about me. I am 61 years old, and I have dry and sensitive skin. And over the past 5 years, I have tried thousands of makeup and skincare products, and so I do have a pretty good basis of comparison for everything that I try out on this channel. And I am really, really picky in terms of having a zero tolerance policy with regard to not being willing to use any products that do irritate my sensitive skin. So that is something that I am definitely focused on. And I have found that certain ingredients always do irritate my skin, and I know that these same ingredients tend to be very irritating for many other people as well. And so I just don't talk about products with those ingredients on this channel. And then more recently, I have decided that it is really better for my skin if I just don't use any products that contain scents in them, even if it is just natural processed scents. And so the skincare that I talk about in my videos tends to be ones that just are unscented at this point. And by the way, I do have a Facebook group, and that group is called 40 Plus Beauty with Lisa Peterson. And so if you are on Facebook, then we would love to see you in the group. And so starting from the top, the first brand is 100% Pure, and this is a brand that does not include any preservatives really in their products, and so they do tend to have pretty short shelf lives. So you should keep that in mind. I tend not to have liked their makeup products all that much, but I do like some of their body products, and they also have a coffee bean eye cream that I have liked a lot, and I see now they have a facial moisturizer that is similar to that, and so I would be a little bit interested in picking up that facial moisturizer during whatever sales they have. And they usually do tend to have some sales at this time of year, and so I am waiting to see if they have something that's more unusual on the website for Black Friday. Alpine Beauty is one of my favorite skincare companies, and I have gone through their products numerous times. The one that I have used the most from them is the Super Peptide and Ghostberry Moisturizer, and that is a barrier type of a cream that is fairly rich and that I think is particularly good for the winter months, and it doesn't have any scents in it, and my skin has really, really liked that. And I also do like their line-filling eye cream, which is a product that has bakuchiol in it, and also some peptides, and also some caffeine, and so I do think that that tends to be really good for my eyes and is one of my favorite eye creams. And they are having a sale that is 30% off. Anne Marie is a company that uses all natural ingredients in their skincare, and it is pretty expensive because they do include all of those expensive ingredients. But I have done well with their products, of the ones that I have tried, and the one that I have liked the most is the anti-aging facial oil. I think that my skin has been fine with that, and that has been nice on my skin, although mostly I do like the fragrance of that. So it has a variety of extracts in it that do smell really, really wonderful to me and that have not irritated my skin. And things on Anne Marie are 25% off right now, and so that is a much better price than usual. Armani Beauty is offering 30% off, and of all of the products that they offer, the one that I'm most enthusiastic about are their lipsticks. So I think that these lipsticks, both the matte and the satin ones, perform really well, and I think that the colors are really interesting and that they always do look good on me and they do hold up well on my lips. And so I would be more than happy to have a few more of these. Augustina Spotter has had a holiday sale in the past, and so I don't know if they will be having one this year. I don't see anything that looks really outstanding that is sale price on the website right now, but if they do have a sale, or if you do buy Augustina Spotter products from somewhere else, like for instance Blue Mercury, something like that, then the product that I would consider is the one that I use all the time, which is the Rich Cream. And I did do a video on my experiments with the Rich Cream and about using it on half of my face for the whole year. And I do personally think it made a difference. And a lot of people that watched that video seemed to be persuaded that it made a difference. And so that is the product that I would start out with. But if you want to start out with something a little bit smaller, and that's more targeted, then I think that their lip balm is really terrific. And they have some of those that are tinted, and then they have some that are untinted. And I do feel like using a lip balm like this that has peptides in it can be really, really important in terms of making my lips a little bit more younger and feeling and more hydrated and keeping my lipstick from disappearing off of my lips. And so I do feel like my lips are in much better shape now that I've started to use these kinds of products. And they do have some that are tinted, and then they have untinted ones. And I think that I really like all of those very much. Aveda is a company that is owned by Estee Lauder, and I did used to get my hair cut at Aveda, and so I was tempted to buy a variety of different products and to try out a variety of different products. And so I do still really like their Botanical Repair line of hair products. Now those are quite expensive, but I think that they are more targeted for people that have more fragile or older or more dry hair as I do, and I think that of all of the products that I use on my hair, that these are among the best for it. And they do have a scent, and it is a pretty strong natural scent, but I actually find that scent to be really appealing, and I do tend to be really picky about scents. And the Aveda discount that I see on the website right now is 20% off hair care best sellers, which would include the Botanical Repair Conditioner and shampoo, but I suspect that they will have some better deals over the next couple days. Bare Minerals was one of the first brands that I really dug into when I started to get into makeup and skincare about 5 years ago. And at the time, I thought that it was pretty good compared to many of the other products that were on the market. But there have been so many other products that have been released that have been outstanding since then that I think Bare Minerals is lagging behind a bit. And so I tend not to use them very often, but they are offering a deal of 25% off. Biossance is a skincare company, and this was sold fairly recently, and the people that purchased it seem to be kind of excited to have acquired it. But I also have seen in the comment section that some of the products have changed formulas, and not everyone is all that happy about that. And so I can tell you what my experience has been with the products that I've tried, but I do think that we're going to have to keep a close eye on Biossance to see if they change the formulas and to see if their changes are good or bad. And they are offering 30% off during the Black Friday event. And of the products that I have tried, I would say that the one that I feel the most enthusiastic about is the hand cream Birkenstock is a website that I tend to visit fairly often, and they do have a last chance section, but that last chance section tends to be kind of hidden. So a lot of times when I go to the website, I can't even find it, but I do have a link, and so you might want to take a look at that. I don't know that they do a Black Friday event, but I do think that if you are a Birkenstock fan, as I am, that taking a look at that last chance section could be really helpful because a lot of those prices are marked down quite a lot, and I have gotten a lot of my favorite Birkenstocks on the discounted page. BK Beauty is a brush company, and they are offering 20 to 35% off. And I have used a number of their brushes in the past, and I do use them pretty frequently. So one kit that I picked up was the one from Angie Hot and Flashy, and I have really liked those. And so here are a couple of eye brushes, and then that kit also comes with some face brushes as well. And another eye brush that I've really liked is this small brush, which is their 207. And I do have really small eyes, and they do tend to be hooded. And so I do think a very small little pencil brush like this can work really well for me. Bloomingdale's is having 15 to 30% off, and that is on almost all items, they say. Bluemercury has become one of my favorite stores because they do have a lot of different brands that I really like, and I can go to the store that I visit in Madison when I get my dog trimmed there, and so I have had a chance to try on a lot of different products and a lot of different shades at that store. And what they do for the holidays is that if you hit a minimum, then you can get a discount, and so their minimum for 20% off is $200, and then if you spend a whole lot of money, then you can get an even bigger discount. And so they sell a number of brands that I like, including Victoria Beckham and Jane Iredale and Chantecaille, and I've been a little bit interested in exploring Sisley, and so therefore if you purchase from them, and especially if you buy things like Augustina Spotter or Dr. Barbara Sturm, then it's not too hard to hit that minimum, unfortunately. And so I did that last year, and I might do it again this year. Bobbi Brown is offering 30% off, and by far the products that I use the most often from Bobbi Brown are the corrector stick and the concealer stick, and these are in the skin line. I became a big fan of Bombas socks this past summer, and they are doing a site-wide sale of 25% off. And I also am a big fan of Darn Tough socks, but I am not yet seeing a sale from them on their site. Bondi Boost is a company that is from Australia, and they're supposed to be focused on hair health, and so that does mean that they're creating some products that I think do tend to be more appropriate for me, and I have had some good luck with their shampoo and conditioner and with a few of their hair treatment products. And I do also really, really like their hair straightener, which is a flat iron. I bought that last year, and it seemed to be really unusual to me because it has a temperature gauge on there where you can pick the temperature, so therefore you're not stuck with a temperature that is too hot for your hair. And I do feel like I've been able to use that product and that it hasn't been damaging to my hair. And it does seem to be really popular this year, and it is sold out in a lot of places. I did see that they still have it on Sephora, and that was marked down below $100, which may be as good as you might get this year, possibly. And on the Bondi Boost website, things are 30 to 50% off, but at the time that I'm looking at it right now, the hair straightener is not on sale. Boom Beauty is another company that I tried a lot of different products from about 5 years ago when I first started to get into makeup and skincare again. And I thought that all of the products that I tried were okay. I thought that they were pretty good, actually, for the time. I think that in general things have gotten better, but Boom has also introduced a lot of new products. And so I would be a little bit interested in delving more deeply into the products that they are offering. And in terms of the Black Friday, they are offering up to 20% off on their website. Brooklinen is a company that sells mostly bedding products, and I had purchased some linen sheets and pillowcases, and I do actually like them, and so I would purchase from them again, and they are offering 20% off. Bulletproof is a company that was founded by Dave Asprey, and I think he's still kind of involved in it, although he's not the CEO at this point. And the company is offering 30% off. I was in a movie with Dave Asprey at one point that was called Moldy, and so I do have a little bit of a fondness for that particular company. The products that I buy from them are their collagen powder, and I started to use that more frequently after I broke my arm, and I think that it is a pretty high quality collagen powder, and I am hoping that if I give my body more collagen, it will make it easier for it to make collagen. And then in addition, I like their brain octane oil. I think that's quite nice. Caloray is a cleaner beauty company that was founded by the woman who originally founded Urban Decay, and so they do have a lot of expertise in the makeup business. And they do have a number of products that I have liked. One that I think is particularly good and that a lot of people have liked is this color corrector. And so if you prefer a color corrector that is in a liquid form rather than a stick form, then I think that this one would be really good. And I really need to pick up another one of these because the one that I picked up in is actually a shade that is too dark for me. And since I picked this one up, they have introduced some new shades, including one that I think would be really appropriate for me. And Calaray's sale is 20% off. Chantecaille is having a sale of 30% off, and so that is really terrific because their products do tend to be pretty high priced, and I did do a full video on that, and so you may be interested in taking a look at that. In terms of the products that they are offering, the one that I think is the most outstanding that is new this year is their lip creme, and so this is a lipstick, and it really is not supposed to have any microplastics in it. And it also doesn't have any obvious silicones in it, and it comes in a whole bunch of different colors, and I've tried a couple of different shades so far, and I do really like the way that it is performing. Charlotte Tilbury is currently offering 25% off if you reach an $85 minimum, and there are several products from Charlotte Tilbury that I have liked quite a lot. There are also a lot of other products that have ingredients in them that are problematic for me or that I haven't really liked. Of the things that are on the website at the moment, the one that is most interesting to me are actually these beautifying eye trends palettes, which reappeared. They were off the site for quite a long time, but they brought them back. And I think that from what I'm seeing now, they are in all of the colors, except the green one is not listed. And so I have the blue one and the green one, but I might pick up one more of them just because I really like them. This is kind of not all that helpful for my channel because I think once these are gone, they will be gone. But I have really enjoyed the two that I have so much that I wouldn't mind getting one more. Chewy usually has really good sales over the holiday season, and so I do keep an eye on that site and then I stock up. Clinique is offering 30% off, and the products that I still use on occasion from Clinique are their Take the Day Off makeup remover. I do think that that is quite good. And I also sometimes use the Black Honey lip sticks. The Coach outlet is having a 25% off sale, so they have pretty good prices to begin with, and so 25% off definitely brings them into a quite good territory. Not everything looks like it is 25% off, but in general, I'm just a really big fan of Coach, and in particular, I really like their belts because I think that belts in general tend to be very, very expensive and not very good quality, and I have been very, very happy with all of the Coach belts that I have purchased. Coco Kind is a brand that I've tried quite a bit over time, and I think that they have gotten rid of a lot of their older products and brought in some new ones, but in general I have found that their ingredient quality for their price point, they're more like a drugstore type of a price point and sold at Ulta. I do think their ingredient quality tends to be quite good, and my face was able to tolerate most of the products that I used from them in the past, and so their line right now is 25% off on their website. Counter Beauty is the reincarnation of Beauty Counter, and that is a brand that some of their products I actually did really, really like. And so they have just brought back a minimum number of products so far, but some of the products that they brought back I did like in the old versions, and there are a couple of products that I would be interested in buying. So of the products that they are currently selling, the one that I still use is the Tetrapeptide Supreme Cream, and for wintertime this is a product that I think is particularly good for my skin, and $98 is quite a lot of money for a jar of face cream, but if I can get it for 25% off, then that's a lot better. Credo is offering 20% off, and I did do a video talking about all of the Credo products a month or two ago when they had their early fall sale, and so if you're interested in what I think of Credo products, then you might take a look at that video. Derm Store is a company that in the past I have bought some skincare products from, and I think that that has been fine. And they are offering up to 30% off, and so if you're thinking about buying some skincare, especially expensive skincare, then you might take a look at that site. Dolce & Gabbana is a line that has a lot of products that I really like. I don't know if they are going to be having any kind of a sale, but I do think that we may be able to get some of their products from other retailers, such as department stores. And one product that I have really been liking is their eyeshadow. And so this is called the Ever Icon Eye Palette, and I think it is really gorgeous in terms of the eye looks and in terms of the way the palette is designed with this heart shape. Dr. Barbara Sturm has announced a 25% off sale site-wide. Now, the thing to know about Dr. Barbara Sturm is that my understanding is that they do not accept any returns of opened products, and so if you are not sure that you are going to be able to tolerate this product, then you might not want to buy it from the site. But on the other hand, I do think the 25% off is a pretty good deal for Dr. Barbara Sturm products. And so of the products that Dr. Barbara Sturm sells, I think the ones that I like by far the most are the Hyaluronic Serum or the Super Anti-Aging Eye Serum. And I think that that eye serum is really just a souped-up version of the regular serum with some additional beneficial ingredients in it that is a little bit more expensive, but I have been using that in the same way that I use the regular serum. Now, Drunk Elephant is a company that's gotten a lot of criticism over the past year or so, and although there are a lot of products from this company that I don't think have worked for me and that I do think have ingredients that are not really that great, there are a few that I really like. And so the ones that I really like include the Bora Barrier Rich Repair Cream. I think that that one is really, really terrific. And I also like the Lippy Balm. And so if you want something that has peptides in it that is going to make your lips more full and in better health and better able to keep lipstick on them without feathering, then I think that that is a very good product. And I also really like their hand cream. I think that that is really terrific. Now for Edam, the only product from them that I've tried so far are their lip balms, which are called Le Chouchou, and I do really, really like these. These are their special edition ones for the holidays, and then they have their regular ones, which are in silver packaging, and I think that these are really good for my lips, and most of them do have a bit of a flavor in them, but I think that they taste really good to me, which is really unusual, and that in general, and they do look nice on my lips also. And so in general, I think that these have been really terrific. And they are very popular, so I don't know if there will be a site-wide sale that will include these, but I would keep an eye on this site if you are interested in this product. M Cosmetics is a brand that seems to offer mostly products with pretty good ingredients in them, and I have been trying out a bunch of different products from them, and I've been fairly happy with the performance of those products, and I don't see anything about Black Friday on the site right now, but I would not be surprised if they had some kind of a sale. Emile Henry is a French brand that sells cookware that is like stoneware that is really high quality, and I do feel like everyone is in agreement that it's not going to have any toxic glazes or anything on it. And the things that I feel especially positive about are, first of all, their chicken cooker that lets you have the chicken stand up so it gets sort of maximally crispy. And I also like their pizza stone. I think that that has been really terrific. But they also have a variety of other stoneware type of cookware that can be used on the stovetop as well as in the oven. And so there are some pie pans that I have liked, and bread pans, and a variety of other types of products. And I think the quality is very good, and everything is 25% off or more. Usually I wouldn't buy anything from Estee Lauder because most things do have fragrance in them, and even if they don't have fragrance in them, they tend to be really irritating. However, I did hear about a new liquid blush that they are offering, and so I did try that out at Ulta, and I did really, really like it, actually. And I want to compare it to the new product from Jane Iredale, which I also have been liking. And so my hope is that they will be having some kind of a sale over the holidays, or that I can pick it up at Ulta maybe. Evan Healy is a product company that puts essential oils in almost everything they make, and so that makes much of it a no-go for me. But I am a really, really big fan of their lip balms. I think that those lip balms have very, very good ingredients in them. They are very slightly scented with vanilla, but it is real vanilla extract, and they taste really good to me. And even though it looks like the ingredients might be a little bit on the fragile side, I have had some of these for a couple of years, and they seem to be holding up fine for me. And so once in a while I will place a big order of a number of those lip balms and then just keep using them. And so they are having a 30% off sale at present. Pharmacy is offering 25 to 30% off, depending on how much you buy. And the only product from them that I have tried that I have really liked is their face cleanser. And so the one that I like is called the Vanilla Clean. And so that has a vanilla scent in it, but it's not too objectionable to me. And it is a different formula than the one that they have reformulated their regular Green Clean in. Fenty is offering 30% off, and most of Fenty's products do not include any fragrance in them, so that part is good. I have found that they perform adequately for me pretty much across the board, and the ones that I have liked the most are the cream bronzer and the powder bronzer, and I think that the lightest shades of those may be appropriate for some people that do have light skin. FitGlow is an independent company that uses pretty good quality ingredients, including, in a lot of cases, a lot of fermented ingredients. And I have tried some of their skincare products, and my skin does really like them. The products that I have liked the most and that I have purchased repeatedly include the Calm Cleanser and then also the Cloud Comfort Cream. Glossier is offering 25 to 30% off site-wide, and they do have a couple of kits that I personally find to be interesting. So one of the kits was available through Sephora, and this is a trio of the Cloud Paint blushes, and so those are in special shades. And so I did think that that looked pretty in the pictures, and I do like the Cloud Paint blushes. And then there's also a trio just on the Glossier website of the Ultra Lip lipsticks, and these are all shimmery versions, and so most of the lipsticks in the past have all just been non-shimmery, and so I thought that that was very interesting. And so I did pick up both of those sets, and I am getting messages saying that they are about to be delivered to me, and so hopefully sometime soon I can do a video and show you those particular products. Goop has some of its own products, and then it also stocks a variety of cleaner products, and they are having 20% off on beauty and wellness favorites. And so not every product that is a beauty product is available on the site, but a few products are, and so you might check that to see what they are offering. House Labs is offering 20% off, and the products from House Labs that were released this year that I am actually still really, really enthusiastic about are the blush balms, but the new colors that are in bronzy type blush shades, and so I do have 3 of these, and I have really liked them a lot. I don't see on the Hourglass website so far that they're having a Black Friday sale, but I think that they do tend to have one. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this popped up. And I certainly this year have been impressed with the Hourglass palette in the lightest shade. And so this is the Deer palette. And in the past, I feel like the light shades of these were really still not appropriate for me because the bronzer didn't work very well. And in general, I felt like they were just not looking all that great when I put them on. But I do feel like with this one, I can just put it on with the band-in and it makes me look a little bit better, but it's nothing that is too made up, and I think it is giving me the kind of look that an Hourglass palette is supposed to be giving me. Huda Beauty is offering up to 80% off. It says, I'm not sure what the price of most of the things on the site is. I like their foundation that they released last year. I thought that that is very nice. Ilia is offering 20 to 25% off, and I do think that over the past couple years, Ilia has introduced a number of products that have really impressed me. And so this year, the products that I have really liked are the eyeshadow sticks, and then they also released a line of blushes, which are called the Soft Focus Blurring Blush, and those are very nice. Jane Iredale is offering 20% off, and the product that I am feeling really enthusiastic about at the moment are their little liquid blushes. So I have this one in a shade that is called Cinnamon Girl, which is a kind of a terracotta shade that I think looks particularly good on me. But there are some other shades that I was able to try on in the Blue Mercury store, and I really like those as well. And so let's put a little bit of this blush on my cheeks right now just so that you can see how easy it is to blend. And so what they are saying about this product is that you can use either a little bit of it and that it will go on really smoothly and not be too aggressive, or that you can use a larger amount of it and then you can build it up so that it is a brighter color. And I think that is right on target, and that this does actually blend really easily into my skin. And so I am actually interested in buying at least one more shade of this. Jones Road is offering 10 to 20% off of everything on the site, depending on how much you buy. And I did do 2 different videos on that sale. And so if you're interested in the sale, you might take a look at those videos. One of the videos talks about the set that is called the Pinky Bronze set, and then the other one talks about a set that is called the Party set. But for people that are just starting out with Jones Road, I would suggest instead purchasing their regular products. And so the products that were released this year that I am the most enthusiastic about, there is the Just Enough Tinted Moisturizer and then also the classic lipsticks. And I think that both of these have been really terrific for me. They don't have any kind of fragrances in them. I think that everyone that I've heard talk about them has been positive, and that I think that most people are not going to need to worry about them in terms of irritation factors, and the performance for both of them has been really, really good. And so I think that these could be worth taking a look at. Kosas is offering 25% off, and they did introduce a loose powder this year that I thought was quite good. But if I am looking at the products that are the most appealing right now, I still like the baked blushes that they introduced last year. I think that those are very attractive, and this year they came out with some more in brighter colors than in the past, but in general I still like that product a lot. Colfree is offering 20% off, and I have tried a number of products from them, and I think that a lot of these products have been fine. Kylie Cosmetics is 40% off, and I have tried quite a few products from this brand, and even though I am not really a fan of the Kardashian-Jenner family, I do think that the products that they are producing are quite high quality for the price point, and that it is very focused on cleaner products, and much more so than a lot of products that are out there. And so that does make me interested in this line. I did really like the tinted moisturizer that they brought out last year. That was one of my favorite foundations of the year. And I have liked a number of their other products, and I really think that this year I need to do a full video on the Kylie line and to talk about all of the products from them that I've tried. Laura Mercier is offering 25% off. of the products that I have listed that I've tried. The ones that were released this year that I liked were the bronzers. And so those are really have some shades that are really light, and I think that they looked really good on my fair skin, and I do enjoy using those. Lancome is a company that puts fragrance in almost everything, and so that makes pretty much everything that they make a no-go product for me. However, they have made a number of eyeshadow palettes that I think have been quite good, and in this year they came out with one that is associated with another makeup artist, and that one is called Cafe Crush, and so that is kind of fall colors, and I have played with that quite a bit, and I have shot some video footage, and I do really like that palette, and so I do want to do a video to release that footage and talk about the palette soon, but in general I think that that is quite a nice palette. It is available in a kit where you can pay a small amount of extra money and get a whole bunch of other products, but I wouldn't want any of those other products because they all have ingredients in them that are problematic. Lawless is 30% off, and for Lawless I feel like a lot of their products are pretty good and that I haven't been really enthusiastic about any of them. I do want to give their foundation that they released this year another go. The issue with that one is that they don't really have any light shades, and so I think a lot of people wouldn't be able to wear that one because they wouldn't be a foundation shade that would be right for them. Le Creuset and Staub are French cookware brands that are enamel over cast iron, and so almost all of my cookware is from these companies, and so I do usually take a look at both of their websites over the holiday season to see what they have available and what kind of discounts they have. Lion Pose is a new skincare company, and they are offering up to 30% off. And the product that I have been using mostly from them is their barrier cream, and I do think that's a very nice barrier cream. It's a little bit lighter than the one from Alpine or the one from Drunk Elephant, but I think that my skin has liked it an awfully lot, and it's supposed to have a lot of peptides in it, and their sunscreen is also pretty good. And Lisa Eldridge, I don't think will have a Black Friday sale, but she does have a whole lot of holiday releases on her website. And so I did pick up this one, which is the Gloss Embrace Sequin. And this is in a shade that is called Chameleon Chaos. And I do think that it's time to put a little bit more on my lips, so I will go ahead and do that. And this is kind of a gorgeous product. The colors in it are really pretty. And so it's a lot more sparkly in the bottle and a lot more bright colored in the bottle than what I anticipated. And so I'll put a little bit on my lips and you can see what you think of it. And I don't think that it is so bright or so sparkly that I am not able to wear it. I think I feel really comfortable with it. And I also think that my lips have responded perfectly fine to it. It doesn't feel like it has any grittiness to it. And I think that, as usual, the lip glosses from Lisa Eldridge are very nice. They don't have any kind of a flavor or anything in them, and they do taste good to me. And so this is actually a fun product. It is available in 3 different shades, and I am not sure I need all 3 of these shades, but I do think it's kind of gorgeous. And so they do have a number of other special edition colors that are available for the holidays. And all of them come in this kind of box, which has this special edition artwork in it. And I do think that the artwork is really special, and it was created specifically for these products. And so I think that if you were going to give this as a gift, it would be a really special gift. And now that I have this, I'm a little bit interested in maybe buying something else. One thing that I do really like from them is their cleansing balm. That is actually my favorite cleansing balm. And they do have a cleansing balm kit that has a little head wrap in it. And I do think that the merch from Lisa Eldridge always has been very good from what I've purchased. And so I would think about getting that cleansing balm and maybe one of the other products as well. Live Tinted is offering 30 to 40% off, and I haven't tried a lot of Live Tinted products, but one that I did try was their sunscreen, and I talked about this in my sunscreen overview video earlier this year, and I did think that that was a very nice product. I purchase an awfully lot of my clothing from LL Bean, and usually on Black Friday they will introduce some kind of a site-wide sale, maybe a small amount of it, like 10 or 15%, but it tends to be fairly rare to get really good deals on LL Bean stuff, so I do watch for that sale. Lolavi is a hair care line that is associated with Jennifer Aniston, and I have found that line of products to be quite good with regard to being appropriate for my delicate and dry hair. And so I have especially liked their shampoo and their conditioner, and then they have a spray that I use pretty much every day as a conditioning spray, as a leave-in, and then they also have a cream that I use every time I'm going to be styling my hair. And so now they have come out with a second line of products that are called the peptide plumping products. And so I did pick up this little box that has travel sizes of the three products that are in the line. And so I am going to try that out. But in general, I do like these products. And they are scented, but it is a totally natural scent. And I do really like the way that it smells. It is kind of a citrusy and slightly floral scent that I find to be really appealing. MAC is having a sale for 30% off site-wide. However, some of the products that are newer that are the most interesting to me are not included in the sale. So, for instance, these lip glazers, which are lip liners that I think are really terrific, those are not included. And this Dazzle Lips crayon that I really was surprised that I like, that is not included either. And so I think that I do want to do a full video on MAC at some point soon. But in general, I think that there are a lot of other good products from MAC. I especially like their Maximal Satin lipsticks and also the matte ones. And so those could be ones to consider during the sale. And those do have vanillin in them, but other than that, I really like both of those lipsticks. Macy seems to be having a wide variety of items on sale, and so I will put a link to that in the description box. I have purchased a number of things from Madewell that I have liked. I've purchased some dresses and a couple of blouses, and I have liked the quality of those, and they are having a site-wide sale for 40% off. I've tried a few products from Make Beauty in the past, and I have liked them, but they seem to have removed a lot of products from the market and introduced a whole bunch of new products. And so I am interested in doing a video on those, and I did buy some of them myself, and then Make Beauty sent me a few more of them, and so I'm hoping to do that video sometime soon in the new year, and they are offering a site-wide discount of 25% off. Makeup by Mario is offering 25% off, and there are a lot of products from Makeup by Mario that I have really liked, and I did do a video on his new foundation and also his new eyeshadow palette and some other products fairly recently within the past month or two, and I do really like quite a lot of the products, and I continue to use this Ethereal Eyes Nature palette. I do think that, especially for this time of year, and because green shadows tend to be in style this year, I think that this has been a really lovely palette. And that I also do like his new eyeliners. There are some new shades in that, and I think that they perform quite well without being quite as expensive as the Sarah Creel eyeliners. And the brown shade of the mascara has been nice also. I don't know if Makeup Forever is having a sale this year, but they've had one in the past, and so I would be surprised if they didn't have one this year. And of all of the products from Makeup Forever, most of them do have ingredients in them that are problematic for me. The only product from them that I really have liked is the Makeup Forever Artist to Go mini palettes, and so these are fairly reasonably priced, and I think that these have performed well for me. And you can buy 2 of the shades on the Sephora site, I think, but there are 2 others that are available just on the Makeup Forever site that also could be worth considering. And Merit is currently having their one sale of the year. It is 20% off of everything on the site. And a lot of people seem to be focusing a lot on their new shimmer eyeshadows because they are brand new and were introduced right before the sale. And I did pick up this one already. I picked it up in the shade Glacé, and so I've tried this a number of times, and I think it's okay. And I think that it could be that part of the reason that I haven't liked it that much is because maybe some people are liking the darker shades more. I did order one in a shade that is kind of purpley. That might be Iris, and that hasn't come in yet. For me, my Sephora order got delayed, but I did try it out in the store, and I feel like when I put it on my eyes in the store that it looked quite nice. But within a very short period of time, it just kind of disappeared. And so that made me a little bit frustrated, especially since I don't really feel like I have a hard time with eyeshadows disappearing. I think that they tend to stay on my eyes pretty well. In general, I would say that the products from Merit that I like the most are the lipsticks. And I definitely like the original lipsticks, the satins, and I think maybe even more so, I like the mattes. Milk Makeup is offering 30% off, and when I first started to become interested in makeup again, I did try a number of Milk products, and some of them were okay. More recently, I think that they are putting like fragrance and things into many of their products, and so that makes them a no-go for me. Another one of my favorite brands is Soshe Beauty, and they are having a site-wide sale of 25% off. And I did notice that they are having a last call section on the website where they are discontinuing a lot of the shades. And so I do see that one of my favorite products from them, which is their powder highlighter, that a number of those shades are being discontinued. And so those could be interesting to look at. And then there are a lot of shades of things like eyeshadows and blush that are also being discontinued. So regardless of whatever else you might buy from Beauty, I think that the last call sale product section would be a place to look. NARS is offering 25 or 30% off, and so I am a big NARS fan, and there always are a lot of items from NARS. They always have all different kinds of stuff available. In terms of the holiday releases for this year, the one thing that I picked up already is this little eyeshadow quad in a shade that is called Solaris. So I really like the packaging for this. It is kind of a purple color that I think is very pretty, and it seems a little bit festive without it being too much conventional Christmas. And the shades in here, there is two taupe shades. One is a shimmery taupe and one is a matte taupe. And then there's a matte blue eyeshadow that is kind of a grungy type of a smoky blue. And then there is a pink shimmery shade that has a bit of a shift in it, and so it comes across as a little bit like a fluorescent pink. And I did put this on my eyes today, so you can take a look at it and see what you think. And so my own feeling about this is that probably it's the case that if you have a complexion that does well with kind of clear colors, and that you like colors that are more like pastels or brights or things like that, that this one may be a little frustrating for you. And for me, I feel like my eyes do a lot better with grungy shades, but that a little bit of shimmer can be welcome. And so I actually really like this palette. I may be the only person on the planet that is really, really enthusiastic about it, but I actually really, really like it, and more so than most of the eyeshadows that NARS brings out. Natasha Denona is offering 25% off site-wide, and there are a lot of products that are from Natasha Denona that were released earlier that I did really like. But certainly Natasha Denona has plenty of beautiful palettes, and so that could be a good time to buy one. Necessaire is my favorite brand of body care products, and they are offering 20 to 25% off. I don't see that they have as many sets as they did in the past, but they still are offering a decent discount. And so for that particular line, the products that I make sure that I have enough on hand to get me through the winter include the body lotion, the body serum, And I also like their hand cream a lot, and I am needing to buy some more of that. And I like their fragrance-free deodorant, and I like their sex gel. Now, to my understanding, both Neiman Marcus and their sister company, which is Bergdorf Goodman, they both have tiered sales, and so therefore, if you get to the point where you have purchased enough products that you reach a certain minimum, which might be $200, I think, then you may be able to get a certain percentage off everything that you're buying, and so that may allow you to get a discount on some luxury brands, even if those never go on sale on their own, and so that could be something to consider. Nordstrom, of course, has a variety of products that they are offering, and so I will keep an eye on that, but probably a lot of beauty products will be for sale during the Nordstrom sale. Nude Sticks is offering 50% off of everything on the site except for kits, and I have tried a couple of products from Nude Sticks, and I think that they were okay, and so if you're a Nude Sticks fan, that could be a good site to take a look at during the holidays. One Size is a brand that seems to be mostly targeting people with oilier skin than I have, and that also seems to target people that want a heavier foundation than I prefer. But I do really like a new product that they came out with this year, which is called the B12 Base Thinner Serum, and so I would recommend this one. I think it's a nice product to tone down a foundation, make it a little bit more wearable. Pact is a brand that I like a lot. It is mostly organic cotton, and I have felt really good about the products from them that I've bought, and they are offering up to 40% off site-wide. Pat McGrath is offering 30 to 40% off, and the item that really springs to mind with regard to Pat McGrath is their Satin Allure lipsticks. Now, I've been talking about these lipsticks for quite a long period of time in terms of really liking them, but I did give one that I had used once or twice because it was red and it was not really the right color red for me to a friend of mine because I thought that she would really like it, and boy, she really, really liked that one. She thought it was absolutely terrific. So these do not have any fragrance in them, and the cases that they come in are kind of small, and they're not really expensive plastic probably, but the lipstick is full size, and I think the cases are kind of cute, and the lipstick performs really, really well in my opinion. And so these do come in a whole bunch of different colors, and they are only $30, and so if you can get a big discount like that on these lipsticks, then I think that for the quality of these lipsticks, that price is really unbeatable with regard to anything that you're likely to get on the market. And so I would highly recommend these. And the dramatic lip pencils from Pat McGrath, these are also quite good, and these are about the same price, which is $29. And so I think that this is a very good time to buy this Pat McGrath stuff. Now, Patrick Ta, almost everything that he offers has some kind of a fragrance in it or some other ingredient that is problematic for me, and so I haven't really delved into that line a whole lot. They did come out with a foundation last year, and I do really, really like that foundation. It is very moisturizing, and so I think it is especially good for the winter time, and I think that in terms of how it looks on my skin, I think that it looks very nice, and that it's especially suited to people with more mature skin. The products that he came out with recently, first that I have picked up, first of all, there is a little palette that is called the Major Dimension Essential Artistry Edit eyeshadow palette. And so this is 6 different shades that are supposed to be like sculpting type shades, so they're kind of neutral. And I have been looking for a palette like this for a long period of time because my feeling is, yes, there are plenty of palettes out there that have all matte shades, but usually they have really dark shades, and I'm not going to be using most of those. And I also don't want a big palette like that has to be like taking up a lot of space. And so I think that this was a really interesting product for me to pick up. And I think the idea of using a sculpting type palette on the eyes before putting on some kind of a color eyeshadow or some kind of a sparkly eyeshadow is kind of nice, or even just having it as an everyday look. And I have been satisfied with the quality of these eyeshadows so far. Of course, I don't know how they will hold up over time, but in general, I do like this one quite a lot, and I do see myself using this one. And then to sort of go along with this little palette, or just in general, I picked up a new one of these little duos that have the sparkly eyeshadows. And so I picked up one that is called In Your Dreams. And so the one that I had before was called Still at the Club, and that one was brown. And one of the browns was not so much a sparkly brown as it was like a metallic. But in this one, there are two slightly different sorts of shades of white or off-white type shades. And so this will really go over any kind of eye look that I may have, and I can put on just a little bit of it and make it just a little bit sparkly, or I can add a bit more of it and give it more of a dramatic type of a look. And I think especially as we head into winter and there's a lot of ice and snow outside, I feel more comfortable when I put on products that are more sparkly. And so that makes me a bit excited about this, and so far I have really been enjoying wearing both of these products. And so I will try them on in a video soon, but I think I would recommend those. And Polite Society is a brand that I don't think that I have looked into or tried out nearly enough. So recently I have been going to Ulta almost every week because my dog likes to go there, and then he meets a lot of young girls and other people, and everybody really loves him, and so he has a lot of fun at the store. And so one of the brands that is at Ulta is Polite Society, and so I have paid more attention to that recently, and I do feel like almost everything from Polite Society has been really good for me. And this is a brand that is founded by the people that originally founded Too Faced, which was purchased by Estee Lauder. And so I think that these people definitely know what they are doing. And so for the holiday season, they have 3 little different holiday kits, and all of these I think are really cute. And so one of these products is a set of 3 of their Polite Society Polite Pops. And so the colors that they include in that kit are ones that I actually already own. And so I did go ahead and swatch them. So the colors are Paris, which is a kind of a peachy pink, and Malibu, which is not that different in tone, but which has a little bit of a shimmer to it, and then Sydney, which is sort of a terracotta. And this is a formula of blush that is sort of a cream to powder type of a formula. And so it isn't a little stick like this, and it goes on like a cream blush, but I think that it holds up more like a powder, and I think it does look very pretty on my skin. And then the second product is one that is called Cinnamon Chalet. And so it comes in this little cardboard box, which is a little bit festive. And on the inside of this, there is a full-size version of a special edition shade of that Polite Pop. And then there is a mini version of what they are calling the Polite Pout Glossy Lip Balms. And so I will go ahead and open this up. The regular price of this is $30, but I do think you can get the discount on this. And so I think it's supposed to be a Christmas ornament, and it does open at the bottom here, and so we can take this out. And so I felt like for me that this actually was a really, really pretty color. And so it's kind of like cinnamon candy almost. And so I thought I would put a little bit of this on, and you can see what it looks like. And this one is much different than the other shades, I think. And usually I wouldn't be inclined to wear a blush that was more red, but I think in this case this is actually, based on my experience at the store, it's actually kind of a pretty red blush shade. And then these Polite Pouts are squeezy lip balms, and they do have flavor in them, and I feel like the flavors are not as good as, for instance, the Edam lip balms, but I do think that compared to pretty much everything else on the market, I actually am liking the flavor in these. And I have another one of these that is in the grapefruit flavor, and I think that that one is actually very nice too. And this one is definitely cinnamony tasting, but it is a pleasant taste as far as I'm concerned. And so I don't feel like these are lip balms that I would want to put on my lips many times a day, but I do think that they are kind of appealing and that I don't mind the flavor or the scent, and I do think that they seem to be kind of natural scents. Now the third little kit that they have is one that has 4 different lip balms in it, and those are all lip balms that are like Christmas cookie or caramel, that is ones that are not as appealing to me, and so therefore I didn't go ahead and pick those up. I think I would prefer to have something that was more grapefruit tasting or berry tasting. But in general, these are pretty moisturizing, and I do feel like they have been good for my lips, and that compared to most of the other squeezy tube lip balms that are on the market, I think that these are better. And I think as a little Christmas gift, this is kind of a cute little case. Prose is offering 60% off hair care. I do think that that is a better deal than what they usually offer. And I have tried the Prose hair care. This is something that advertises really frequently on YouTube, or at least I see it really frequently when I am watching YouTube. And so I did pick this up, and I also picked up some of the skincare. And so you can tell the system what your issues with your hair are, and then it will create a custom formula for you. And in addition, if you do not want fragrance in it, then they will not put fragrance in it. And I found that both the hair care and the skin care worked really well for me. So in terms of options that are out there that don't have fragrance, I think that both of those worked really well, especially the hair. And I actually reordered the hair products. I do think you have to be really careful when you place an order that you are not signed up to get it automatically sent to you, because once you get an email notification that it's being sent, it's too late to cancel it. So that's a little bit frustrating, and that did happen to me once with the skincare. But in general, I do like those products, and I would continue to buy them again. Rare Beauty is offering 20% off of everything on their site, and I think that some of the Rare Beauty products have been okay for me, but in general they do tend to be pretty pigmented and pretty shiny, and so I haven't used those a whole lot. Ritual Defy usually has a really good Black Friday sale, and I did talk about Ritual Defy pretty extensively in the video that I did last month on Credo, and so you could take a look at that video. RMS had 30% off last week for Green Friday, and they usually do have a whole lot of other special deals throughout the holiday season, and so I do tend to keep a close eye on their website. There are a lot of RMS products that I do really, really like, and the most recently released of these is their liquid concealer, which I have found to be similar to the Sarah Creel concealer, and I also do really like their legendary lipsticks, which do not include any plastics or silicones, and I see that most of the shades of those are currently available for 40% off in the Secret Stash section of the website. In addition, at any time you can get 20% off of any product on the RMS website, except for things that are already discounted, if you use my code, which is LisaP20. I would think that Saie would be having a Black Friday sale, but I'm not seeing anything about it on their website so far. Sarah Creel is offering 20% off of everything site-wide, and so there also are some special deals that you could find on the website. And right now I think that the product that people are most excited about in the beauty community are these eyeliners from Sarah Creel, and so I do keep hearing about them, and they do seem to be selling super, super fast. And I talked about these a bit in my video on Chantecaille, but in general, I am really, really impressed with these in terms of how they have gone on and in terms of the quality of the little brush that is in here. I think that this brush is like a regular brush quality, and that it's worth like saving this brush forever because it is just as good as a brush you may buy at somewhere like Jones Road or BK Beauty, and that the colors are really pretty. The ones that I have so far are Taupe and Twilight Smoke, and these are both really great, but these I think I have to say is the best pencil that I have found, and I am very excited about them, and they seem to be pretty much out of stock on both Sephora and the Sarah Creel website, but when they come back into stock I will be interested, and if there are any shades that you don't have that are being sold on the website, then I think this could be a good thing to pick up. The other recent product from them is a line of lip glosses, and so these are called, I think, No More Questions lip glosses, and they are pretty glossy, and so I picked this one up in a shade that I think is called After Hours, and so why don't I put a little bit of that on and we can see what it looks like. And so I think this performs pretty well. It has some peptides in it. I think it looks kind of nice on my lips and it holds up pretty well. I don't taste a whole lot, but I wouldn't say that I'm crazy about the taste either. And so I have worn this occasionally. I don't think I would buy another one of them, though. Whereas with the eye pencils, I do think that I want to buy a number more shades of those eye pencils and to rely on those as my number one eye pencil that I have available. Sephora typically does have a lot of sales on an individual basis throughout this week, and so you may just want to keep an eye on the sales section of the site. Unfortunately, they tend to have so many items that it can be really overwhelming, but if you see any items that you think are interesting, then please do share that information either on the comments for the video or else in my Facebook group, because we would all like to know about that. Soshe Beauty is getting kind of hotter recently. I think a lot of people do really like their blushes, and so they are having a 20% off sale on sets and then some various other sales items on the site, and so I have picked up several items from Soshe, and I am hoping to do a video on that company soon. Summer Fridays is offering 20% off, and the product from them that is the newest that I do find to be a little bit interesting is called the Blush Butter Balm, and so I feel like this product leans a little bit into being a little bit similar to the Jones Road Miracle Balm, except that it doesn't have any kind of essential oils in it, and when I have tried it, I haven't found it to be irritating, and so I guess what I will do right now is just try a little bit on camera and we can see what we think of it. And so the shade that I have is called Toasted Terracotta, and so let's put a little bit on and see how it looks. And I don't know if this is exactly like the Jones Road Miracle Balm, but I do think that I look a little bit prettier when I put it on in person and I think in the camera monitor. And some of the other shades that they had in the store looked very pretty too. Sunday Afternoons is a company that makes sun hats, and I do wear those every single day when I go outside during the times of the year that it is sunny, and I do think that those have been super helpful to me, especially in making it so that I do not need to wear sunscreen and that my skin still stays light rather than getting any darker. And so their sale is up to 70% off, and usually I can get some good deals during the Black Friday week. Swede is offering 25% off, and I have been trying some Swede products, and I have actually been liking them, and so I will do a video on those. Tarte is offering 30% off. I did try a bunch of Tarte products at one point, and I thought all of them were okay, but I think most of them probably have been discontinued, and they brought out a bunch of other new products which probably also are okay, but not ones that I really feel like I need to be delving into. The Outset is offering 25% off on everything, and the special product for the holiday season is a quartet of these Lip Oasis. So one of these is clear, and then 3 of them are in shades, and I have tried these on my lips a couple of times on this channel, and my lips do like them a lot, and they do have a bit of a flavor, but I think that the flavor is really appealing. The other products from the Outset that I use all the time are the daily moisturizer, and I like their serum, and I also like their cleanser in the summer months. The one product that I have not been sure that I've liked is the night cream, and I think that one issue with that one is that if I put it on over the top of my Augustinus Bader product, or if I mix it with the Augustinus Bader product, it tends to pill a lot, and so that makes me not all that interested in using it. But what I recalled is that Scarlett Johansson mentioned in an interview that she thought that this product makes a really good hand cream, and then her CEO said, oh, well, people will never spend that much money for a hand cream. So I decided to try this as a hand cream, and I totally agree that this is a superb hand cream, and that you do get a lot of it in the jar, and that I think maybe it would be worth it, because I think that it's hard to find a good hand cream, and that it makes a big difference to have one. Tom Ford is offering 50% off of selected products, and it seems like there are a lot of them. Tower 28 is offering 28% off of everything on their site, and recently I have been playing with the new Tower 28 eyeshadow sticks, and I actually think they are kind of cute, and so I do want to demonstrate those in a video coming up soon. And the product from them that I use the most often is their spray that is the SOS spray, and it's hypochlorous acid, and I do think that that is super helpful for me in terms of recovering from incidences when my skin microbiome gets messed up and my skin just turns into a big mess. Ulta has a variety of products on sale all week, and so if you have a lot of time on your hands, you could take a look at that. Urban Decay has a sale of 30% off for everything on their site, and I really only like their Moondust shadows as far as what I've tried so far from them, and so that is always something that's a little interesting to me. First is offering 25% off, and I did do a video over the spring or summer where I talked in depth about my experiences with all the Versed products, and this is likely their only sale of the season or of the year also. They are owned by the same people that own Merit, and so therefore they have the same kind of selling strategy. Victoria Beckham seems to have settled at 20% off as the regular discount for the Black Friday week, and I picked up the Cocoa set, including the Cocoa mascara and the eyeshadows and the Cocoa Pave eyeshadow liner, and I also finally ordered the liquid blush from Victoria Beckham, and so I think I need to do a video demonstrating all of those products. Violette FR is offering up to 25% off of all of the products on her website. Vitacost is where I buy most of my packaged foods, and they usually do have a very good sale over Black Friday, and so I will be watching for that. It hasn't been released yet. I buy a lot of bras from Wacoal. I buy really almost all my bras from Wacoal, and I usually buy them from the website, and I do think it's pretty easy to get a bra that is the right size from the website, and they are saying that right now they have buy one, get one free on select sale bras, and that this is their first time ever having a sale like that. So I will take a look and see if there are any styles that may be appropriate for me. Westman Atelier is having a 20% off site-wide sale, and they are having a few additional sales that go beyond that. And so I do feel like for this year that Westman Atelier has to be my brand of the year, because first of all, they came out with 3 big new releases, and all 3 of those releases are the best in category for me. And so I am really, really impressed with what they have done. So those are, first of all, their lip liners, and I think that those have been really fantastic. And then they also released some liquid bronzers, and I do really, really like the liquid bronzer, and I especially like the shade of the lightest shade of them. It's got kind of a pinky type of a shade that I have found to be very, very similar, actually, to this little bronzer that everybody talks about from Farrah Hamidi. And so that is one reason why I think I like that line so much. But I also like the formula of the liquid bronzers. And then in addition, she released a line of 6 different blush duos. So some of them have 2 shades of blush, and some of them have 1 shade of blush and 1 shade of contour. And I really like those also. And there are quite a few other products from Westman Atelier that are best in category for me. And the one that I think is the top product from Westman Atelier, and also my top cream blush product, are their Baby Cheeks blush sticks. And those are on a special sale during the Westman Atelier sale. And so you can get a set of 2 of those, and you can pick your colors, and they would be $30 each compared to the usual price of $48 each. So I think that's a much better price, and you can get the shade Mimi, which is available only on the Westman Atelier website. YSL is offering 25 to 30% off, and there are several products from YSL that I do like. And the product from them that I still really like the most are the Couture Mini Clutch Eye Quads. I do think that all of those eyeshadows have performed really well for me, and that they all do look really pretty, and they blend really easily. And just in general, I still think that those are really exceptional eyeshadows. The Unexplored Garden version is still not available on the YSL website, unfortunately, and that is one that I haven't picked up, but I haven't necessarily heard the best reviews of it either, so maybe I'm not missing that much. So thank you very much for watching all the way to the end of the video. And as the week goes on, if you see any deals that you think people should know about, then please do let us know about those. In addition, if I brought up any products that you have experiences with, good or bad, then please let me know what those have been. And in general, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then I hope you will do that. And if you like this video, then I hope you will hit like, because both of those things help more people to see the videos. And I also hope to see you in my Facebook group, which is called 40 Plus Beauty with Lisa Peterson. And Coco and I do love you very much, and so thank you very much for watching. Goodbye. Mwah.